numbered the balloons, that's okay. You can simply click on a balloon number, change it to another number. It's showing you that it's already existing, and that's fine. It's just going to tell you that it's switched. And you can see now my bill of material, you can see item 1 has 3, item 2 has 2. It's going to update that parts list, and you can see that it flips it now. Item 1 has 2 and item 2 has 3. And so we're showing how quickly the users can customize their bill of materials just by changing a number on a balloon. Another aspect of our drawing is the assembly views themselves. I want to go over here, and I'm going to drag in an assembly, and you can see that this is also a family member, but of alternate positions. You can see that we have an open and closed position, and each one of those you can actually bring into your views. In this particular case, we just wanted to add the front, top, and right views and place those inside of there. And you have many different options of how you want your views to be placed, and you can see how you can easily just move those around. But I also want to just pull off a principal view, but in this principal view I want to make sure that it's shaded, because those are the type of things I want to highlight in that particular view in itself. Next, we just want to show off a few other items. One is the ability to use to get a section. So I just want to go in and tell the system how do I want to cut through this particular assembly. You also have controls up here in your command ribbon that allows you to turn things on and off as you see fit. Here I just want to go down and touch that center of that hole, or screw, excuse me, and be able to place that inside of there very quickly. And then what is my section view, and which way do I want it to be viewed? And then just tell the system I just want to section this off. And since I want to highlight a few things, so I'm going to go ahead and color that one. It will highlight some of the hardware that you'll see on the screen. And now, one of the things I want to point out to you is the control that you have of your drawing views, unlike any other CAD system. So if I look at the properties of this particular one, I want to point out a few things to you. Notice the icons along this parts list. There are 3 different icons. There's a gray one, there's a solid one, and there's one that looks like it's been cut through. That's because that is the actual part that we cut through inside of Solid Edge. The ones that are gray, they're not even visible on the screen. So if you look and you hit the little eyeglasses, we're actually highlighting those parts on the screen that have actually been cut through, or whatever you're actually selecting. That enables you to do any kind of option over here to the right. What do you want to do with that? Well, maybe this one I just want to be able to take completely out of that view, and you can see how quickly it is to take that out of the view and update that view. So you can customize this any way that you want. One of the other things that you can we want to point out to you is the ability to not cut hardware. And you can see this is an anti-standard to not cut the hardware. You can choose to cut it or not. It's totally up to you, but we want to point that out to you. One of the other advantages inside of Solid Edge is to set the drawing view depth. So know how far do you want to see into this view. So I just want to grab this, and notice that you can either do it in the top view or over in the right view. It just depends upon how far you want to go back, and then we'll just update that view, and you'll be able to see on the screen how easy it is to update that view and clean out some clutter that you don't want to have view inside of there. Not only can we do that on a section view, but we can also do it on any other principal view as well, and be able to update that view. So there you can see how quickly you can customize your views. What about dimensioning? Well, I just want to go through, and I want to maybe get a hole call out, place that outside there very easily. Use some smart dimensions, maybe go some dimension between. Now I'm using the smart dimension, but we can easily switch to a dimension between, use that same dimension, and then have it place and continue to stack those dimensions very easily on my screen there. And you can see how easy it is to place your dimensions. You'll see in a second how we can automatically retrieve dimensions, but take note of this dimension here is a 20 inches, and I just want to do a same dimension inside of my isometric view. where we can just place this outside and hit N on the keyboard to get a different plane where that actually wants to be placed inside of there. One other thing I want to point out to you is the broken out section view. And again, this is just how do you detail your views and the multitude of tools that are inside of Solid Edge to be able to convey the information that you need to convey out to your shop floor, and what is important to you and what is it that you need to really highlight to there. Those tools are available inside of Solid Edge. Now, broken out section views are unique inside of Solid Edge. Here I'm defining it in one view, but I'm defining the depth of this inside of another view very quickly. So I just want to go to that midpoint, but my resultant I want to place inside of a different view, not inside of my front view, and I'm just placing it in my isometric view, and you can see the result very quickly and how we can place that inside of that isometric view to highlight and look inside of things easily. Next, let's take a look at hole tables. This may be a case where you have a plate where you have some holes that are drilled inside of it. But one thing I also want to point out to you is with inside of Solid Edge we have designed and simplified parts. We talked about that with our fastener systems, but you can do a simplified part with any Solid Edge part. And then when you bring it into the draft file, you're able to select which one that you actually want. And then next, we want to be able to do something a little different here. We just want to do the front, left, and right view. And this is where we point out the retrieve dimension command, where I just want to retrieve these dimensions from this actual part. And you can see how very nicely Solid Edge retrieve dimension command is. But we also want to take a look at a hole table. You have various options inside of here. Some save settings if you need to have some standards that you want your users to follow. But we just want to go in here and place our X and our Y location. Simply select those holes and easily place that hole table out onto our draft sheet. Very, very easy. You can see we have a lot of through holes, but we have one counterbore hole, and you can see all that information is displayed onto your screen, and it's fully customizable however you see fit. And then next we want to be able to convey an exploded type view. What are some options inside of there? Well, here if we just select the exploded view itself, one that's already been predefined in our assembly view, you can see you get the flow lines and how it's actually placed. But what happens if you have one view but you need to go ahead and create another exploded type view? What is the process in simply going through that? Well, all I have to do is simply double click on that and go into the explode, render, and animate environment inside of Solid Edge. Take a look at that explode, and you can see that's the exact same view that we had before. But what I want to be able to do is create my own. So I just want to select these two. I want to remove those from our exploded view. I want to create a new one. But we can also go in and show that how you can bind subassemblies so you can move them all at the same time. And then I want to show you a manual explode process where we go through and we select each one of these, and then what direction do we want to follow them by. And you can see how we can either move them as a unit or we can spread them out evenly. And so I just want to go ahead and spread them out evenly, give it a distance of 20, just go ahead and hit explode. And there's different ways you can do this. Go back into our explode options, and as you saw before, as we talked how you can move them as unit or move them evenly, I just want to be able to take this top one and I want to move it down. I want it to become second, and so whenever I hit explode, you can see that those two switch. So you have full control over how you can manually explode or how you want your explodes to look. But now what I want to do is show you the automatic method inside of Solid Edge. You can either automatically explode either the top level assembly or a subassembly. In this case, we want to do a subassembly. And you can see that we can simply just grab the subassembly. I'm going to let Solid Edge figure out the spread distance because I don't know what the spread distance that I want. So I'm going to let Solid Edge figure that out. I can come back and give it an equal distance if I so choose, but in this case, this looks great for me. And Solid Edge moves the parts out so that they are actually visible away from different parts. So you can see here this part, if it was at the same spread distance to this one, it would actually overlap this, so it actually moved it out just a little bit further, so it gives you a great view that you want. Next, I want to be able to move these particular parts, and you can see how you can move its dependencies as well. So we can just grab a particular axis, move that around. You can see that the flow lines actually move along with that at the same time. And then we can just simply save this configuration, and we'll just save it as either a new configuration, give it whatever name you want. Click and just save that one, and then we'll just save it inside of the assembly file itself. And then we'll just simply go back to our draft view itself. Now, one of the great things is you don't have to delete the view, replace the view, go through all that process. You can simply right mouse click on that property and go and select that new exploded view that we have inside of there, and then update our view. It's very quickly and very easily, and you can see that we have that same exact view that you have inside of there. And then you saw how we've placed some parts list on the front, but it was automatically done through our quick sheet template. But in this particular case, we just want to go in, grab that section that we want. You can take a look at the properties that you want to be able to choose from, and just go ahead and place that outside of there. And you see that the bill of materials came up. One of the things I want to point out to you is that we have our parts, but we also have a non-graphical part, which is actually paint. This gives us the type of paint that it is, the color it is, what the document or part number is, and then what is the quantity. Well, it's 2 liters. Well, that's just one of the other things inside of Solid Edge. If you have paint, grease, whatever, all that information can be placed out onto your draft sheet. So this concludes this demonstration of Solid Edge with synchronous technology and the Jig and Fixture demonstration.